Here's a peek at what guests had to say after the show.
Okay, we're back on the internet. Bill Crystal, do you think we should invade North Korea? Isn't it a bigger threat than Iran?
I think we should. I think it's awful, the North Korean regime. It's got millions of deaths. It's responsible for millions of deaths. It's got nuclear weapons. It's been a failure of U.S. policy to allow it to get to the situation it's in, but I have no easy answer now.
You say you don't think we should invade?
No, but I don't think we should be cavalier about it and just say, oh, how ludicrous an idea it would be to try to destabilize the regime and free the people of North Korea. It's a horrible...
But how could we do that? I know, but how do you do that short of invading? We've tried everything.
Well, in fact, we've done a fair amount, and we could do more, I think, in terms
What more could we do?
We could radio, we could help South Korea.
Radio?
There's Radio Free Asia and those sorts of things, the kinds of things that undermine the Soviet Union. Do you think the North Korean regime is going to be in power forever?
I don't, but I don't think.
So
but I don't think the
Could we help dissidents? Could we help the South Koreans? Could we help put pressure on the Chinese to put pressure on the North Koreans?
I think
provide them food aid.
The reality is, you have three ways to do things. You can do military. You can do economic sanctions, which only has limited work. You have moral authority, which we don't have that much anymore. That's it. Yeah. And if you don't, we've tried the economic route as hard as we can go at it. They don't care because the regime still gets their food. They don't care if the people starve. So the truth is, if we're going to be honest with ourselves, if we're not going to invade, then we don't care that much.
I don't agree with that.
Then what do we do?
I think invading is out.
It is out.
I think you're getting more tension between North Korea and the Chinese than you ever had before. You saw when he executed the high leadership and all the family and friends and telephone friends of the rival leader in North Korea, and that was China's.
Oh, the uncle, you mean?
Yeah, the uncle, and all of his friends' family attacked by dogs or whatever it was that happened. The Chinese are a bit freaked out. Our guy on the inside is now gone. So I think there are some other channels besides just us invading that we could press on.
Okay. Well, once again, people say that and then they don't have any. Will there ever be a gay president or even another unmarried one? Who was the last unmarried one? Was it
Buchanan, I think.
Buchanan?
He's sweeping the
nation.
No, it was Harding, wasn't it? One of them was a bachelor in the 20s.
Calvin Coolidge.
Calvin Coolidge.
Calvin Coolidge. Silent.
No, Coolidge was married. Coolidge was married. Coolidge was married.
And I'm from Chicago, but I didn't go to the University of Chicago. Brainiacs.
Why is that a point of honor? I didn't go to the university. What do you think? A gay or bachelor president? I think gay before bachelor.
Someday. It's going to be a while. I think we're going to have a woman first.
We are definitely going to have a woman first. Although, I was very surprised to see this week that Joe Biden is on the not-so-fast train. He's like, you know what? Don't count out old Uncle Joe. I think the reason I think he's doing that is because
Because he wants to be VP.
Well, he's not going to be VP again. Yeah. But I think what he knows is that Hillary has a lot of baggage. Some bad shit could happen. And then he will be in place to pick up the pieces. I want to be around to pick up the pieces okay.
He's the only runner-up they have. He's really the only guy who, I don't think Andrew Cuomo, I don't think O'Malley, I don't think any of these other guys are actually going to be...
They have other people.
Yeah, they have plenty of other people. And I think personally, I'm not rooting for the Democrats, but if I were a Democrat, I'd be a little worried about the coronation of Hillary. I'd prefer to have a competitive race.
Right.
Elizabeth Warren.
I would prefer to have Elizabeth Warren.
Some of those
Absolutely.
I'm with you. You should be more of a Tea Party person. Can I say that?
I should be more of a,
I agreed with your last rant about all the rich and this.
Really?
The Tea Party.
What?
The Tea Party hate those people. That's what the Tea Party were rebelling against.
Well, really? but they vote with them. Somehow
I understand that crony capitalism and big government is also a big problem, but they're not happy about.
Look, I think the Tea Party has got a major East German judge at the Olympics thing going, where the president hits a flip and does whatever, they give him a 2. They got to filled out already.
How come the Tea Party somehow has
You
this...
guys can
It
laugh.
doesn't matter what he does.
But why does the Tea Party have the same
I think
economic
that is
agenda as the Koch brothers?
It doesn't, actually. It's
Well,
not-
I don't
it's a
think
matter
that's
of...
But they
not totally
vote with
fair.
them. They vote for who the
Yeah,
Koch
because
brothers...
look at the alternative. Look at the liberal alternative. Obama's crony capitalism, bailing out Wall Street. As you said, no one on Wall Street...
As you said, that was Bush.
You
That
love
started
those
before
bailouts. You
Obama
love those
was there.
bailouts. You were just
I didn't love
you began
them,
the show
but
defending the bailouts, and you ended the show attacking
But
billionaires.
you did the... you did
Again, Bill, not the
original
same
sin.
thing.
The original sin.
Your
that
sense
I-
of logic is amazing to me.
I like to amaze you. You know, it's my
do.
role.
You
That's my
amaze
role
me.
in life. It's to amaze.
What is
it's
the
to
one
amaze
thing you have to
Bring
do
it
with
to the
other?
ad hominem.
I mean, the
give 'em
reason
one,
we
but-
needed the bailouts was for your boyfriend George Bush
Wait a minute.
left
Wait.
a flaming pile of dog shit on the White House steps where we were losing 750,000
I
jobs.
agree with that part, but the thing
that was
is
the
conflating of the bailouts, that it was Obama who did that when virtually
Right.
all the bank bailouts
Exactly.
took place before he got there.
I agree.
I think
We're in agreement.
All I'm saying
We
is,
don't like the big business establishments of both parties. I'm with
Okay,
you,
but
Bill.
it's just, if the
Bill's
job,
speechless.
the
The
job
party's
no,
got
I'm
it a
not. I'm
little
just going to say the
confused.
job creators are fantastic, and as long as you get out of their way and stop regulating, and every once in a while give them $100 billion, everything works great in the American economy, doesn't it?
I think the one thing you forget is that in the United States, the real job creators are middle-class consumers, right? Our economy is 70% based on what people buy. It's based on consuming. And when you have a middle class that is not able to keep the wealth it earns, we're hollowing out our economy, right? And it's not working, and we're going to have stagnation continued as long as people can't keep what they earn.
Where was he the first hour?
He was out there. I thought it was with you, Bruce. Why don't Democrats, Richard asks the panel, focus more on eliminating tax loopholes? Why don't they? Austin Goolsbee, you're
I think they do. I mean, once you're in Congress,
to nil effect.
Yes,
Right.
that's what I agree. They've put a focus on it, but to nil effect, because, you know, whether it's meat, whether it's whatever industry, there's a lot of money in Washington that people are pushing on to prevent.
I was in Denver in 2008 when you gave a briefing during the Obama convention about how Democrats in the Obama administration, when they got elected, would take on tax reform and entitlement reform. And so hearing you talk about this makes me wonder what happened.
Well, same thing that happened to meat.
Look, back up, and the Tea Party happened. I mean, in many of these discussions,
reality happened.
Well,
reality and priorities happened, and it's unfortunate.
Would have been nice, though. It would have been nice.
So would meat and GMOs and a lot of other things, environmental stuff that, you know, we're going to stop the rise
all I'll
of
say
the
is
ocean.
it is not the case. And if you're meaning to imply, look, the president got there and then he took all those plans and threw them away, that's not true. They propose in the budget. The president proposes tax reform, proposes various cuts, has proposed entitlement reforms. It goes nowhere.
Dave Camp has tax reform out now. Any chance?
Okay,
President
last
supports
question. Do you think the Tea Party will cost Republicans the midterm elections in 2014 and the presidential election in 2016? Well, there is some historic precedence for that question, because we know that they did cost seats for the Republicans in 2010 and 2012.
Tea Party was responsible for, in large part, for the huge Republican gains in 2010. They cost them a couple of Senate seats with bad candidates, but they did pick up 64 House seats, a lot of govershorships.
Right.
Republicans, I think, will win the Senate this year, and
That's true.
2016 will be a close race.
We can make fun of the Tea Party all we want,
Right.
but you know what? In 5 years, they are baked into the cake that they don't want gays to eat of this country. They came pretty darn far. I mean, you know, I wish Occupy Wall Street was nearly as influential as the Tea Party.
They're not. Is that same guy still out in the tent?
It's the same guy out there, right? And it's raining today.
If
so
I were to say one thing that
Please
would
do.
help the country, because I'm kind of ignorant to all the stuff that's going on, the country needs to continue to dare to dream.
I agree with that. Well said.
Who the fuck is going to argue with that? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Real Time with Bill Maher. Ask Bill and his guests your questions right after the show at HBO.com or on Twitter.